Hey, Wilson Morales from Black Women TV talking to director Wendy Raquel Robinson, Cynthia Bailey, Apryl Jones regarding Who's Cheating Who. How are y'all?
Good.
Hey,
How are you?
excellent.
Wendy, obviously, I've known your work in front of the screen for a long time. What made this one the one you wanted to do to direct?
Wow, that's a great question. It started with me knowing the writer and tapping into her head, Charlotte Boyer. So I want to give her a big shout out. And she trusted me as an artist, and we collaborated. We went through a lot of note processes. The script went through some serious changes. You know, James DeBose came in, and he was like, "How can we make this unique?" And the greatest challenge he asked me, he was like, "What is your why? What is
Mm.
your why? Why are we doing this?" And so it was presented to me in that light, and that just kind of just made me think, artistically, intrinsically, mentally, physically, why am I doing this? And of course, I wanted to get my feet wet. Of course, it was a great opportunity, but I wanted to do something that would make us all think a little differently, not only about love, but about relationships and how we, you know, it's transactional. It really is. And I think I grew through the process. I wanted to grow. And that's
Mhm.
why I chose this. Yeah.
You can never take roles or work for granted. They don't always just come. So, it takes a minute to decide why you say yes. So, for each of you, Cynthia and Apryl, why did you say yes? Was it the role, the script, or the time frame when you can do it? Sometimes you guys are too busy to you want to do it, but the timing doesn't work. What made just the right one you can say, okay, I can do it? Apryl?
Well, for me, I felt like, and I had answered this before in another interview, that I felt like the reason why I chose this and to do it was because number one, the script I loved. I just felt like the characters had so many different complexities, and it was just like the ending. I was like, "What is this? Like, oh my gosh!" And then, of course, Wendy directing. Like, come on, like, who isn't gonna want to do a movie where she has her hands on it? Like, so for me, it was like I knew as an actress and me kind of being maybe 4 years, 5 years into this, I'm like, there's so much that I know that I can learn from her. And so I knew that was going to be a gem in all this. And then the people that were a part of the cast, right? Darius McCrary, Blue, and even Cynthia herself, I just felt like it just all in totality, there was just no way I was going to say no.
And Cynthia?
For me, I love the script. I was offered the role, which doesn't happen a lot with me because I'm still a new and growing actress. So I don't get offers all the time. So I was like, wait a minute, I don't even have to audition for this. They just want me for this thing. So that was pretty cool. And of course, working with Wendy, I looked at the cast. I was like, okay, well, this is a no-brainer. Everyone was just, everyone's just so talented. I knew I would be in very good company. And, the role was crazy. Maxine is completely out of her mind. And
Mhm.
I feel like this is a great way to debut myself as an actress playing a role that's so complex. Like I'm the psychotherapist and I'm like literally a psycho as well in a lot of ways. Like I'm doing all the things. And it was just a great introduction to me really being able to really show myself as a full actress. I've done a lot of small parts for over the past couple years, but this hit differently. Like when you're like at the top of the call sheet, you're like, all right, you really got to clock in a more intentional, serious way. And I definitely walked away from this movie feeling like I'm definitely on the right path. Anytime I doubted myself or questioned myself, Wendy, with the help of Wendy and this amazing cast, I definitely feel like I am doing exactly what God wants me to be doing right now.
Wow.
Having been in front of the camera for so many years, Wendy, was that helpful in terms of getting behind it? Was there anybody helping you along? It's not like you said, okay, I know what I'm doing. At the end of the day, it's like, you got your script supervisor, your AD, so for your first time out, until you get a hand of it,
Mhm.
what was your guiding point?
I think my guiding point, number one, it was okay, prayer and meditation. But I know so many wonderful directors, and I sought their advice. Kelly Park, she's amazing, but she's like also one of my best friends. And she was like, number one, trust your gift And number two, trust that everybody that is surrounding you, they are professionals. This is what they do. And then the best advice I got was to make the DP my best friend. And I did, James Bowles. And we sat down for hours and hours and created a shot list. I told him what I wanted and certain things and certain ideas that we had. Boom, guess what? Well, remember when we said we were going to shoot that on a steady cam? We don't have a steady cam. I was like, okay, so what are we going to do? You know, so it really made me vulnerable because I'm such a control freak. And I had to just trust that everybody is hired to do exactly what they are doing. And by empowering everybody, because it starts at the top, and the Swirl Films gave me the reins, and BET Plus, they were like, okay, just do whatever it is. And so with permission granted, where much is given, much is required. And I think it worked together as a team. And then the actors being on top of their game, but everything else, you know, above it. I mean, we had every issue you could imagine that happens on a production, but you don't know it as talent. And I never knew so much goes on, from the locations to, oh, we don't have this location, now we got to pivot. The houses that they were in were not the houses. Actually, Cynthia, your house was supposed to be Stephanie's house, and Stephanie's house was supposed to be Cynthia's house. Because if you really look at it, it was just stuff like that. It was like, but it just all worked. And, yeah, it was a huge exercise in trust.
With the characters that each of you are playing, are we supposed to feel empathy for them? Like, you know, on the trailer, it's like, oh, okay, we see where Cynthia's character is going. And then we're like, okay, is Apryl the goody two shoes is being taken advantage of? But then as you watch this movie, you're like, okay, there's another story here. How would you best describe the characters that we can relate with? Is it like a one note where like one against the other that we're supposed to be rooting for, and that the guys are, neither one of them are doing anything right?
I think that as a viewer watching this, you'll be able to pull from everybody, right? And kind of see why they made choices. Whereas with my character, it's like, you know, a woman who wants to be loved and just valued by her partner, Cynthia and her husband not getting along, and some people not liking each other. And then, you know, you go into having an affair with somebody. So I think people, when they watch this, they'll be able to pull from all of us in some sort of capacity. So you might be, you know, you might have empathy for me, and then that might change. You might have empathy for Cynthia, and then that might be like, this woman is crazy. You know what I mean? Like, this is why I love this movie so much, is because it's so much feeling involved. And I definitely know that the person or the people that are going to be watching this are going to have a lot of feelings about it. That's for sure.
Is your character a femme fatale, Cynthia?
Is my character
a femme fatale?
Well, I can just tell you this. I don't know if you're going to have much empathy for Maxine, for me in this movie. That's for sure. Because I really, you know, I just have a lot of like I come in, I'm in a terrible relationship with my husband, which, you know, it reminds me of one of those relationships that we see a lot where people have just lost the spark. Like they don't like each other. These people can't even agree on a movie to watch together at this point. You're like, they are just existing. And it's just sad to watch. And one of the things that I do feel like maybe I'll get a little empathy is because I feel like by the end of it, I'm not supposed to talk about the end of it. Okay, I'm not going to talk about the end of it. I'm not going to talk about the end of it. But I'll just say this, you know, this is where I get a little bit of empathy. You know, I'm looking, you know, I'm supposed to have it all together. I have this great job. I'm supposed to be in a safe space where I'm, you know, a healing space where I'm actually helping other people. But obviously I have a lot of issues and a lot of work to do on my own self. So maybe I can get a little empathy there, because I'm not what I look like. I'm not who I seem to be, you know, and I think a lot of people, you know, can be lost in relationships or lose themselves in a relationship. And I clearly did. And I ended up going down a road of just hot messiness. Okay. Hot messiness all day long. And in the end, which I know I'm not supposed to talk about the end, but I'll just say, you know, I think it's really sad to watch someone not, in the end, at least be in a place where they feel like, you know, they found peace or happiness. I think there's a lot of loose ends that kind of happen with with me, and I go on this crazy journey, and then for what? Like, did it make me better? Did it make me worse? Like, it's a lot of questions with Maxine.
And then there's
Can
then
I
there's the
throw
guys.
this in?
Yeah.
I think I have the most empathy for you and your husband at the end.
You do.
know? Yeah, yeah.
Now you're making people just fast forward. Stop. It'll be like fast forward.
I wanna be like, wow.
No, because it's one of those you got to go back and watch. It was like,
Gotta
wow,
watch
did
all
I
of it
catch
later.
that? Did I
Yeah.
catch that? Yeah.
But then there are the guys. It's funny that it's not that often where two ladies are sharing the same two guys.
Right.
And that's Wendy. Wendy must have punched up the script and goes, no, we gotta juice it up a little bit. Like we'll flip it around and so forth. What's that like? Obviously, it's one thing when you have a love interest, but when you have two of them, both of you, like, okay, who's gonna end up with who?
Wow. So basically, what are you asking? Is it for talent? Is it good to play?
Well,
what?
Wendy, like you're the director. How did you want to put that together since you helped out with the script?
I did Two Can Play that game years ago. And one of the things that I liked about it was that it was a game. And there was a puppeteer that was running a lot of different things and was using the other characters to kind of weave this tale. And so I pulled from a lot of my favorite movies, and Fatal Attraction being one too, where there were two women, but there was one man. It's a reverse with this one. There are two men, but there's one woman, and I just pulled from the things that had an impact on me creatively, artistically, and that intrigued me, that, put me in the seat of, would I watch this as a viewer? Would I believe it as a viewer? So it's always, twice is nice. And I think, I loved the two men because they're so bipolar opposites. You have one who's, I don't have time for my woman. I don't have this, that, and the other. And you have another one who's like, you feel sorry for him. Okay, I'm doing everything. Darius's character, I have so much empathy for him. And he's really trying. And he's looking for the same thing that the women are looking for. So you think. But so yeah, I hope I answered the question. Yeah. I enjoyed both of the men.
Yes.
I did.
For both Cynthia and Apryl, as you continue to do work and as you continue to be high on the call sheet, what did you learn from Wendy's direction and working with each other that helps you out skill set wise moving forward to whatever project you do next?
I think she just gave, at least for me, room to, first of all, she gave me room to feel comfortable and safe and to just be and exist in creativity. Because there's a lot of directors who want things a particular way. And although she does, she still gave us a space to kind of float. So that was cool. She challenges your art, but in a way where you feel comfortable. So, and then she sees something in you, right? And the things that she sees in you, she knows you can take it to the next level. She'll tell you that, and then you try it and you're like, oh my gosh, I did that. So I feel like she gave me a lot of different tools and gems that I will take on moving forward in my acting career, to just really live in it and to continue to strive to be the best actress that I can be by doing the work, putting in the work. You see her, and I just could only just aspire to be like her. Okay, so just putting in the work, and yeah, you'll see the fruits of your labor.
Cynthia?
For me, Wendy, it was like a bonus to work with her as a director because she's also an actress as well. So you got like a 2-for-1. I mean, what am I saying it right? You got like the actor and the director. So she knows what it feels like to be in her seat. And she definitely created this really comfortable space, but she also pushed you. Like she pushed me, like I would do, I'd go into a scene and I'd do it one way and she'd pull me out and be like, okay, I need to see more strength. Here, take this pen and do this. Like no matter what, she elevated every choice that I made in a way that felt right and it felt comfortable for me, and in a learning type way, because again, you're only as good as your experiences as an actress. Like, I feel like I get better and better with each project, with each movie. So I just felt really lucky to have had you know, been able to do my first lead in a movie and be directed by Wendy. And then as far as Apryl and Blue and Darius goes, like, forget about it. Like, I felt like I shot most of my scenes with Apryl. And what was so great about the great thing about our leading lady, Miss Apryl Jones, is the fact that she is so naturally funny when she's not even trying to be. And she's just a natural, like, she was just born to do this. Like she would like get in the scene with me, and I like, and I'm the psychiatrist supposedly, right? And I would be so triggered by some of the little things she would do in her scene. Like, one that comes to mind, which is one of my favorite scenes, is when she and Mason get back together and they're having sex all the time and everything's so great and and she comes in and she curls up on the couch and she's like, "Am I?"
I know that was like, okay, trying to show her off.
Like, when I say she plucked my nerve, she was just like, everything's so great and this is so amazing. It's so magical. And I was so in character at that point. I was like literally enraged, like, for real. I'm going to tackle this woman on this couch and you know, put her in a headlock at this point. So again, just, you know, working with actors where there is chemistry, working with a director where there's chemistry and people trust each other. And, you know, you just really bring out the best in each other as actors, because there were choices that I made that naturally came to me just from a way that Apryl played the line. And then it made me play a certain way. And then I would feel some kind of way because I'm like, oh, really? Okay. Oh, that's what we're doing? All right. Blah, 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 blah. So
Yeah.
I feel like we helped each other elevate in so many ways. And it was just natural. And again, I just can't I'd say enough about the chemistry of this cast.
It was great. It's great.
Congrats on the performances. Wendy, congrats on your directorial debut. Obviously, we want to see more of you. I just talked to Sally Richardson, her Emmy nomination. So I'm like, okay,
Yes.
Wendy, you're next.
Thank you,
so
baby.
keep it going. I'll be looking to see what each of your projects are next, and we'll talk down the road. Take care.
Thank you. Have a great day.